This video tutorial will seek to review how to use the advanced autofilter feature in Access. First of all, I have a large data set here of over 700 records, which I've imported from a CSV file. The first thing you should do is select Move and Copy and create a copy of your data. And that way, if you have any mistakes, you have the original data source. So I created a copy of the data, and it is here. And next, what I've done in this case is I've selected the entire data set. Once again, it's a large data set, so I'll zoom out to make it easier to see. I select the entire data set, and as I go down the data set, you'll see that I've named the data set, the entire data set, by clicking in here, giving it a named range, CroyDB, and I've covered this in earlier tutorials. So I've got a name for this range. So I'm going to zoom in and come back up to the top, and we'll look at some of the advanced criteria. First of all, I want to look at using AND. So I look at my data set, and I've taken the sex and age. So I take the field name, sex and age, and I copy and paste here, and then I take the data, make sure the data is the same as the data that's appearing here. So M for male, and in this case I want to see all the males where the age is less than 80. So I'm going to AND these two fields. So I go to Data, Advanced, and Advanced Filter. I'm going to copy it to another location. I'll show you how to do that. First of all, my list range will be CroyDB because I've named it, and my criteria range will be here. I highlight the criteria range, enter, and now I'm going to copy it to a location. So what I'll do is I'll look on this page, and I'll put it right here next to my queries. So I could put the location of the data where to copy it to, and I select OK, and the data is filtered and it appears here, and you can see we have the male where the age is greater than, where the age is less than 80. So where gender equals male and age is less than 80, and less is age than 80. So now I'm going to do a second one, advanced filter. This time I'm going to say where gender equals male or age is less than 80. So I'm going to select advanced filter, and again CroyDB is my list range, and this time my criteria range, I select over here, this is my list range, my criteria range, male or less than 80, and this time I'm going to copy to another location, and this time the location I'll copy to will be right next to this one. I'll put it over here, and I'll press enter and then OK. And if we look at this one, we can see we want male or age less than 80. So therefore the only people that should be over 80 will be the males. And we could do this by, we can quickly check this by taking the entire data set, and if we sort it according to female. So let's take this data set, it's a large data set, and I've got the entire data set here, and what I'll do is I will do data sort, and I can sort either on the age, but in this case I'll sort in alphabetical according to gender, and the gender will put the F's at the top, and you can see the F's are all under 80, and it's not until we get down to the males that we get anyone over 80, and that's because we used an OR in our search criteria, and we said males or the age is less than 80. So all males, including over 80, or anyone, male or female, less than 80. So now the next advanced criteria I will do is I'm going to use the not symbol. So greater than, less than together is not male. So in this case, what we'll do is we will do advanced filter. The data range is going to be the same, Croy DB, and I'll select the marital status is widowed and sex is not male, and this time copy to another location. I'll come over here from my other location and pop that in and say OK. And now here's the results of that, and we have all the widows, but of all of our widows none of them are male, where it's not equal to male. So let's come back and try another query, and this time what we're going to do is we're going to try another advanced query, and we're going to look at the case where one field has an OR. So we have occupation is X or Y, and in which case I mean occupation is gamekeeper or gardener and age is greater than 10. So again, advanced filter, Croy DB, select my criteria, select the entire box, enter, and again I'm going to copy this to a last location, and that's going to be over here, and I'll say OK, and there we go. So this final one, we're looking for gardeners and gamekeepers. So we have gardeners and gamekeepers and only males. I believe it was only males in that one. No, it's age greater than 10. I'm not sure if there were any less than 10. But there you have it. Now, you need to be a little bit careful here, because if we look over to the left on our data, no, this is fine. Sometimes you end up with a number of these filtered or hidden, but you don't. Okay, so therefore, if we zoom out, see that this is all of our data, and these are values only. So there's the data. You can now perform any other calculations you want on them, Sumif, Countif, or whatever other things you need to do with it. So we have the data. You might wish to, depending what else you have to do on an exam, you may wish to name these ranges. So once again, I could give this a name. I could say gardener, gamekeeper, and now I have a named range. This range will now be referred to as gardener gamekeeper, so I could use it, gardener and gamekeeper, and I could use it elsewhere. If I zoom out, I'll see that that's a named range. Gardener and gamekeeper. I'll only see this when I zoom out a lot. So I could name the ranges if I need to use them later. Don't forget, in this case it doesn't matter because these are just values, but when we're working in a CSV, if we put any formula in and we want to keep them, and we should always save frequently in case something happens, we must do File and Save As Excel Workbook, because once we put a formula in, if we save, we will save over the values, because this is just values, comma separated values. I'm now going to explore Countif and Sumif. So now we're going to count in this data set, smaller data set, the number of males. So we'll say equals count if, and I need my range. So I click on my range. Here's my range here. There's my range. Enter. That's my range, and now comma, and I need my criteria. My criteria is going to be M. I can either type it in, or I can select a field with that criteria in it. And I find out now that I have 19 males. Now I might want to sum, total up, or total up the average. So I can say total up the age. So equals sum if bracket. So I need the range, the criteria, and then the sum range. It's the exact exactly the same as Countif, range and criteria, but I have one more field and it's the sum range. So my range is going to be here, and then comma, and what I could do is I'll do female this time. So there's my criteria, and now I need my sum range, and my sum range is going to be the numerical value that I wish to sum. There's my sum range, bracket on that, and now what it's going to do, it's going to add up for all of the females. So I could check that by quickly getting a criteria over here, and as a quick reminder, we can go over here and we can say F, where gender equals female, and we'll do an advanced search. We could just do a regular filter, but we're going to do an advanced filter to remind ourselves. So let me find my list range. My list range in this case will be the entire list. Enter, and my criteria range, which is here. And let's copy it to another place just to remind ourselves how to do that. And there we go. And now that we have that, let us quickly sum this. So we'll just use auto sum. It's 853, which is because it's just the females, which is exactly the number we had here with our sum if the criteria is equal to female 853. So it's the same one. Okay, that's been a revision on how to do autofilter, which is the same as doing a query, similar to doing a query in Access, and countif and sumif functions. Thank you.